Hello students, today we will read the first story in our syllabus, Pigeons at Daybreak. So it is a story by Anita Desai. Anita Desai, she is a well-known Indian novelist and short story writer. And this story, Pigeons at Daybreak, has been taken from her collection of stories called Games at Twilight and Other Stories. This collection was published in 1978. It is a story of an old couple, Mr. Basu and his wife Otima. Now they are husband and wife. The name of husband is Mr. Basu and the name of the wife is Otima. We come to know from the very first sentence of the story that Mr. Basu is not able to read the newspaper himself. मिस्टर बासु न्यूज़पेपर नहीं पढ़ सकते अपने आप. So there is something wrong with Mr. Basu, we can say. And then the writer tells us that Mr. Basu is a patient of asthma, जिसको आप दमे की बीमारी कहते हैं, that is asthma, and he gets various attacks of asthma. When the story opens, Mr. Basu, he is sitting in his balcony. He wants his wife to read newspaper for him. So he calls his wife to come and read out the news to him. His wife, Otima, she is busy in her kitchen. She is doing some household work. So she has no time at the moment. She will take some time. And when she tells Mr. Basu that she will come after some time, Mr. Basu, he becomes impatient and irritable. Now after some time, Otima is free from her work. She comes to Mr. Basu. Now she is ready to read newspaper for him. She starts reading the newspaper. She starts reading the news one by one. There is nothing very important in the news. So Mr. Basu again becomes impatient, saying that he is feeling quite hot and he says that there is nothing very important in the news. Now Otima reads a small news that there would be an electricity cut in their area during the night. It's daytime. It's morning almost. And the newspaper tells them that there will be an electricity cut in the night. Now Mr. Basu, he becomes irritated, he becomes alarmed, and he complains Otima that if there is no electricity, he would not be able to sleep properly. He becomes quite anxious how he will sleep without electricity. So this anxiety, or you can call it stress, or you can call it irritability, this leads to another attack of asthma. Now there is an attack of asthma on Mr. Basu, and Mr. Basu says that I am unable to breathe. So Otima comes running. She gives him an inhaler. He inhales from it. इन्हेलर समझते हैं आप, वो जो अस्थमा के पेशेंट दे इनहेल का मतलब सांस अंदर खींचना. दे इनहेल देयर मेडिसिन विद द हेल्प ऑफ इनहेलर. सो Otima gives inhaler to Mr. Basu and he gets some relief from this inhaler. Now the postman comes, he gives them a letter, and we come to know that this letter is from their son, who is presently working in Bhilai. Now Otima again reads the letter for Mr. Basu. She tells him that their son is doing quite well, he is okay, and this news, it gives some relief to Mr. Basu. So we come to know that they have a son and the son is away from home, he is working in Bhilai. Now the night comes and Mr. Basu feels that he will not be able to sleep without electricity. So he suggests Otima that they should go to rooftop and sleep in the open air. Now the next problem is that both Otima and Mr. Basu, they are very old and they cannot move themselves, their bed on the rooftop. So Otima calls her neighbor Bulu, who will help them in taking their beddings upstairs or on the rooftop. Now if we talk about characters, you come to know about Mr. Basu, his wife Otima, their son who is working in Bhilai, and Bulu who is their neighbor. So the writer informs us that there is an electricity cut at 8 in the evening. When it's 8 o'clock in the evening, or you can say in the night, the electricity goes off. Otima arranges beds, pillows, and tries to make Mr. Basu comfortable on the roof. But Mr. Basu is upset because there is sound of traffic on the roof and he is unable to sleep due to that sound. This irritability and this anxiety again becomes a reason for, you can say, another attack of asthma, because he again complains that he is unable to breathe, he is gasping for air. Gasping means बड़े बड़े सांस लेना. जब आपको सांस नहीं आती है तो आप you put a lot of effort in breathing, that is gasping. So he gasps for air. He complains again and again that he is unable to sleep, and we come to know that towards the dawn, they are unable to sleep. Towards the dawn means early morning, Otima has to get up and massage his chest so that he can be a bit comfortable. She is also unable to sleep because Mr. Basu is complaining all the time. So she massages his chest and he gets some relief. Otima also goes down to bring a glass of water for her husband, And when she goes down, she finds that there is light in their flat. So she again comes to roof and informs Mr. Basu that light has come and that they should go downward. Full stop. Sorry, uh, you are not writing. So she asks Mr. Basu to come downstairs, and this time Mr. Basu refuses to come down. He says that it has become a bit cooler. Why? Why it has become cooler? Because the writer says that there is a Jamuna river nearby, and the wind is coming, a cool breeze is coming from Jamuna river. So the writer informs you that the cool breeze coming from a river will provide some comfort to Basu. Basu is lying on his bed. He is gazing up in the sky, but his mouth is open. It seems as if he is taking air. He has opened his mouth for a lot of air. At the same time, when Otima looks at Mr. Basu, whose mouth is wide open, there is a flock of pigeon. Flock means group. There is a flock of pigeon which suddenly flies in the sky and it soon disappears. Now at this note the story ends. Now the flight of pigeons suddenly going upward and disappearing in the sky are a kind of suggestion by the writer, as if the soul of Mr. Basu or the life from Mr. Basu has flown away and disappeared. So the flight of pigeon is almost symbolic of Basu's death. So this was the summary of the story Pigeons at Daybreak. And we will deal with the practice of question answers and grammar in the next class. Thank you.